What would you do if the person you loved brought in an expert to confirm you were the problem? Rain streaks the window glass in diagonal slashes, neon signs bleeding pink and blue across Awa's reflection. Her fingers tighten around the tea glass, knuckles pale, steam rising between her face and the condensation-fogged window. The fluorescent tubes above flicker and buzz, casting sickly white light that hollows her cheekbones. She keeps her spine rigid, shoulders drawn in, replaying Jiho's message in her mind. "My parents want to meet you." Formally. Her lips barely move as she whispers to herself, "It's just dinner, not war." But her chest knows better, ribs expanding too fast, shallow breaths she tries to hide behind the teacup rim. The cafe door slams open, wind scattering napkins. Jiho pushes through, rain-soaked hair plastered to his forehead, droplets catching the overhead light as he shakes his head. "Awa," he says, voice rough from running, breath misting in the cold air spilling through the open door. He drops into the seat across from her, eyes darting to the window, to the counter, anywhere but her face, as if the walls might betray what he's about to say. She tilts her head, manages a soft smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "I've crossed oceans for bigger things." He lunges forward, reaching across the table, fingers wrapping around hers with desperate pressure, the plastic table creaking under his weight. "Yeah, but this isn't the ocean. This is family." Silence stretches between them, thick as the rain outside, affectionate but loaded, each second pulling tighter. His thumb traces her knuckles. Her pulse throbs visibly in her neck. Outside, the neon signs flicker once, twice, an omen neither of them registers through the fogged glass. At the cafe, Jiho takes a photo of their hands intertwined on the table. Awa notices and asks, "For your feed?" Jiho hesitates. "My friends like seeing us together." Awa gently but pointed, "But not your family's feed." Jiho's guilty silence speaks volumes. Later, when scrolling through his Instagram, Awa sees he's never tagged her in posts his family might see, only in stories that disappear. She whispers to herself, "You collect me in 24-hour increments." Warm amber light pools from paper lanterns, casting soft shadows that should feel welcoming, but instead press against Awa's spine. The table stretches before them, meticulously arranged side dishes gleaming under the glow, ceramic bowls aligned with surgical precision. Incense smoke curls from the hallway, bitter and sweet, catching in Awa's throat as she bows low, extending the woven bracelet from Dakar with both hands. Jiho's mother accepts it with fingertips only, face powdered pale, smile stretched thin across her teeth, eyes flickering to her husband before returning to Awa. The smile never moves. They eat. Chopsticks click against porcelain. Jiho's father clears his throat, the sound cutting through the quiet scrape of utensils. "Awa, you are—" He pauses, teacup hovering at his lips, steam obscuring his expression. "Far from home, and our family values tradition." His voice carries forced calm, each word measured and placed like stones. Awa straightens her spine, lifts her chin, external composure masking the rapid flutter beneath her ribs. "I respect that deeply, sir." Her voice remains steady, though her fingers press white against her thigh under the table. But the father's gaze slides away, toward the back room where something rhythmic and low throbs beneath the floorboards. A chanting, guttural, ancient. "Our shaman is here tonight." His chopsticks lower slowly to his bowl. She sensed something. Jiho's chopsticks freeze mid-air, suspended, knuckles whitening around the lacquered wood. "Upper, no." Awa's breath catches, shoulders pulling back. "Sensed what?" The question hangs as the chanting grows louder. Before anyone can answer, the sliding door scrapes open, wood grinding against wood. The shaman steps through, crimson silk rippling with her movement, lantern light catching the gold thread at her collar. Her eyes, sharp, unblinking, lock onto Awa. She extends one curved finger, the nail long and pointed. "You." The word slices through the incense smoke. "You carry a shadow not born of this land." Awa's breath snags audibly, chest jerking. The room's warmth drains away. Her skin prickles with sudden cold. The overhead lantern flickers, dims, brightens. Jiho's palms slam the table, dishes rattling, soup sloshing. Stop this, this is ridiculous. His voice cracks at the edges, fear leaking through anger. The shaman doesn't blink, doesn't acknowledge him. If the union proceeds, she steps closer, silk whispering. The family suffers. Awa stares at Jiho's parents, searching their faces, hoping for a laugh, a dismissal, anything. Instead, his mother's lips part, voice barely a whisper that somehow fills the room. We must be certain. The words slice deeper than any insult. Awa's face remains composed, but her hands shake where they're hidden in her lap. Cold air hits Awa's face like a slap as she pushes through the gate, breath misting white in the sodium-yellow streetlight. The metal latch clangs behind her. Jiho rushes after, shoes slapping wet pavement, hand catching her arm, gentle but urgent, fingers wrapping around her elbow. Awa, I didn't know they'd bring her. His voice trembles, each word fractured. I swear. Even the street lamp above them flickers, light stuttering like it wants to abandon them to darkness. She forces a smile, mouth tight, eyes not quite meeting his. I believe you. Her voice is too controlled, too careful. But what do they expect? He swallows hard, Adam's apple bobbing, jaw clenching. They want the shaman to perform a reading. The words drop between them like stones in water. A reading? She exhales sharply, the sound almost a laugh but edged with disbelief. Her shoulders hunch forward. Jiho, I'm not cursed. I'm Senegalese, not supernatural. He grabs her hand. Then prove it. Do the ritual. Show them there's nothing to fear. Awa stares at him, the man she loves, asking her to perform for his family like a circus animal. But in his eyes, she sees desperation, not doubt. Fine. Her jaw sets. Tonight. We end this tonight. Thunder rumbles above them, deep, resonant, like an angry drum warning of what's coming. Sunlight filters through the shop window in harsh white bars, not warm, not golden, institutional fluorescent mixed with natural light that makes everything look washed out, clinical. Awa stands in the doorway, hand still on the handle, ready to leave. Jiho's mother sits at the low table, fingers moving over fabric with mechanical precision, fold, crease, fold, not looking up. The silence stretches 30 seconds. 40. Awa counts her own heartbeats. Finally, why are you here? The older woman's voice is flat, tired. Awa steps inside, lets the door close. To understand why you hate me. The hands stop moving. Jiho's mother looks up, eyes red-rimmed, exhausted, older than she seemed at dinner. I don't hate you. You think I'm cursed. I think... The woman's voice cracks. She presses fingers to her temples. I think my husband died 2 weeks after a shaman warned me about a foreign shadow. I think my mother-in-law died 3 months after another warning. I think I have watched my family disappear, one by one. Whenever someone different enters our lives, Awa's chest tightens, not with sympathy, but with recognition of something she hadn't considered. This woman is terrified, not hateful, terrified. So you blame outsiders. Awa's voice is hard. Instead of coincidence, or grief, or your own superstition killing people through stress. Jiho's mother flinches like she's been slapped. My son loves you. That's not an answer. It's the only answer that matters. She stands abruptly, knocking fabric to the floor, movements jerky with suppressed emotion. If you stay and something happens to him, if he dies the way his father did, I will never forgive myself for not stopping it. She turns to face Awa fully, and her expression isn't cold or hateful. It's raw, desperate, a mother's animal terror of losing her child. So yes, I want the shaman to examine you, to tell me I'm wrong, to tell me my son is safe. Her voice drops to a whisper. Please, tell me he's safe. Awa stares at this woman, sees her own mother in Dakar who would do anything, believe anything, to keep her children alive. Sees the weight of 2 deaths pressing down on narrow shoulders, and realizes refusing the ritual won't prove anything. It will only confirm this woman's worst fears. I'll do the ritual, Awa says slowly. But not to prove I'm not cursed. Jiho's mother's head snaps up. To prove that you need help. Awa steps closer, voice steady and sharp as surgical steel. Because if you believe foreigners bring death, you'll poison every relationship your son ever has. You'll kill his happiness yourself, no curse required. The older woman's face crumples, rage and shame and relief mixing into something complicated, human. If the shaman finds nothing, Awa continues, you agree to therapy, real therapy, for grief and trauma, not ghost stories. Silence. The paper lanterns sway slightly though there's no wind. Then Jiho's mother nods, once sharp, like signing a contract she knows she'll regret. The mother speaks quietly. Therapy is for weak minds. In our family, we handle pain privately. Awa responds, and how's that working? Your husband's dead. You're seeing curses everywhere. You brought a shaman instead of a psychiatrist. The mother, defensive. The shaman understands things doctors don't. Or maybe the shaman profits from what doctors would actually treat. Tonight, the mother whispers. The shaman can see you tonight. But this time, there's something different in her eyes. Not victory, not relief. Fear. Like she's just agreed to something that will reveal more than she wants to know. Awa turns to leave, but pauses at the door. What was your husband doing when the shaman warned you? What changed right before he died? Jiho's mother's face goes carefully blank. Too blank. Nothing changed, but her hands shake as she gathers the fallen fabric. And Awa knows she's lying. Awa pulls out her phone to check the time, battery at 84%. She notices she has 4 portable chargers in her bag. When Jiho asks why she carries so many, Awa says, in Dakar, power cuts taught me. You can't trust infrastructure. Here, I guess I still can't. Lanterns glow amber and orange, flames dancing behind paper screens, casting elongated shadows that writhe across wooden floors worn smooth by decades of bare feet. Thick incense curls through the air, heavy, cloying, catching in the back of the throat. Whispers of sandalwood and something sharper, more acrid. As they cross the threshold, the shaman appears from shadow, moving faster than her age should allow. You're late. Her eyes gleam. He grows restless. Awa freezes. He? You said you sensed a shadow, not a person. The shaman's smile is thin, cutting. Did I? She turns, silk whispering. The spirits rarely wait politely. And this one has waited generations. Jiho's grip tightens on Awa's hand, but it's too late to leave. The door slams shut behind them. Jiho leans close as they stand inside, his breath warm against Awa's ear. We can still walk out. His lips barely move. Voice threaded low beneath the hiss and pop of flame. No ritual. No drama. Awa shakes her head, small movement, decisive. Her eyes scan the shrine, taking in the altar draped in red silk, the bronze implements gleaming dully in the low light. I need to end this. For us. Her jaw sets, muscles tightening along her neck. The shaman approaches slowly, measured steps, deliberate, bracelets clinking with each movement like warning bells in a temple. Light catches the planes of her face, shadows pooling in her eye sockets. You return. Her lips curve, not quite a smile. Brave, but bravery does not cleanse. Awa steps forward, shoulders back, chin up, armor she wears over the fear coiling in her stomach. Tell me what you think you see. Her voice rings clear. Let's finish this. The shaman's thin smile widens. Then the ritual begins. She gestures with one hand, nails catching firelight. Jiho grabs Awa's hand, fingers lacing through hers, squeezing with desperate pressure. His eyes plead, wide pupils dilated in the dim light. Run, don't do this. But tension has already swallowed the room whole, pressing against their chests like a weight. The assistant strikes the first drum, sound reverberating through floorboards, through bone. Then another, rhythm building. The shaman's voice rises, chanting in clipped syllables that feel older than the wood, older than the stone foundation, ancient and sharp-edged. Drums throb through the shrine, each beat sinking deep, resonating in Awa's bones, her teeth, the base of her skull. Lantern flames waver despite the still air, bending away from her as if reacting to her breath. Her presence, something invisible that surrounds her. Awa stands at the center of a chalk-drawn circle, white powder bright against dark wood, symbols she doesn't recognize, forming a perfect ring around her feet. The shaman circles slowly, clockwise, muttering phrases that sound like they're being pulled from the earth itself. Guttural, ancient, wrong in her modern ears. Suddenly the shaman thrusts a handful of white powder into the air. It catches the flame light, shimmering, glittering like frost or crushed glass, before drifting down in lazy spirals. As it settles on Awa's exposed skin, forearms, neck, cheeks, the shaman hisses, "There." Her eyes glitter with something like triumph. Do you feel it? The foreign shadow rising. Awa's skin prickles, not from the powder, but from fear creeping up her spine like cold fingers, vertebra by vertebra. I feel nothing. Her voice holds steady, but her hands clench at her sides, nails biting into palms. The lie tastes bitter. Her phone battery drops from 84% to 67% in seconds. But the shaman's smile spreads, slow, knowing, lips pulling back from yellowed teeth. She sees something Awa can't. Jiho breaks forward, shoulder jerking. Stop this, she's not cursed. This is just... Awa's hand shoots up, palm out, stopping him mid-sentence. Let her finish. Her eyes don't leave the shaman's face, jaw set, neck muscles taut as wire. The shaman snaps her fingers, sharp crack in the thick air. The assistant dims the lanterns one by one, extinguishing flames with wet fingertips that hiss with each touch. Darkness creeps in from the corners until only one flame remains, small, trembling on the altar, barely enough to outline shapes. In the half-dark, the shaman places a narrow bronze mirror in Awa's hands, metal cold and heavy, surface tarnished but polished smooth. Look. One word, command and invitation. Awa lifts it slowly, hands shaking despite her locked elbows. Her reflection wavers in the flickering light, features distorted by flame shadow, but then something else appears beside her face, something dark, a silhouette that doesn't match the room's geometry, that shouldn't exist in the reflection. Awa gasps, sharp inhale, and nearly drops the mirror, fingers fumbling, metal slipping. What? Her voice breaks. Was that? Jiho lunges closer, hand reaching for the mirror. It's just the light. Awa, it's a trick. But his voice carries doubt beneath the certainty, cracking at the edges. But Awa's pulse thunders in her ears, blood rushing. It looked like a figure. Her eyes remain locked on the mirror, even as her hands shake violently. Her phone drops to 52%. The shaman whispers, voice sliding through the darkness like silk. Your ancestors follow you. One in particular carries pain. Awa swallows hard, throat clicking, muscles contracting. My ancestors? The question emerges strangled. Why would they bring a curse? The shaman leans forward, face suddenly inches from Awa's, breath hot and smelling of herbs and smoke. Because one of them died betrayed. Beat, her eyes bore into Awa's. And betrayal follows the bloodline. Awa steps back instinctively, body recoiling before her mind processes, heart hammering against ribs like it wants to escape. A betrayed ancestor, a curse tied to betrayal. Her mind spins, thoughts fragmenting. Whose betrayal? And why now? Why me? The shaman's assistant sets down a black lacquered bowl, water within it perfectly still, surface like glass reflecting the single flame. The shaman gestures with one long-nailed finger, light catching the curve. Look again. Awa stares down, pupils contracting. The water ripples though no one touched it, concentric circles spreading from center. And then an image forms, not clear but human-shaped. Tall, broad-shouldered. The outline pulses with each ripple, growing more defined with each wave. A male spirit. The shaman's voice drops to a whisper that somehow fills the shrine. There, the one who follows you. Jiho stiffens behind her, spine going rigid, fingers curling into fists. That's ridiculous. But his voice wavers. Awa, don't look at this. But Awa can't tear her eyes away, gaze locked on the water, on the silhouette that seems almost Familiar. Something in the shoulders, the tilt of the head, recognition without memory. The shaman's tone sharpens like a blade being honed. This spirit is bound to you, and any man who joins his life with yours. She pauses, letting the silence stretch. Risks sharing the fate that bound the spirit. Awa tears her gaze away, blinking hard, eyes burning. What fate? The question emerges raw, desperate. The shaman says nothing, only steps back into shadow, features disappearing, leaving only the glint of her eyes. The assistant moves to the final lantern. Blows. Dark swallows the room whole, complete, absolute, suffocating. Awa feels the cold rush first, air temperature plummeting, then the fear lancing through her chest. Her phone dies completely, 38% to 0% in an instant. Then a whisper slides through the darkness, not the shaman's voice, too deep, not Jiho's, too close to her ear, soft, male, intimate. Awa, she freezes, every muscle locking, breath stopping in her lungs. Did you hear that? Jiho pulls her toward him, arms wrapping around her shoulders. We're leaving. His voice shakes despite the firm words. The shaman shouts from somewhere in the darkness, disembodied, echoing, If you leave now, the spirit chooses for you. The words make Awa hesitate, body caught between fleeing and staying, just long enough for the assistant to strike a match. Flame flares, lanterns relight one by one, golden glow returning. The silhouette in the water is gone, but the echo of her name lingers in her ears, reverberating, refusing to fade. Outside, the air feels sharp, winter having crept in early, biting at exposed skin, turning breath to visible mist. Awa stands at the top of the stone steps, body shaking, fine tremors running through arms, legs, jaw. Jiho brushes her shoulders with both hands, warming gesture, grounding touch. Awa, tell me you don't believe this. His eyes search her face, desperate for denial. I don't. The words come automatically, but her voice trembles, betraying her. I just... She swallows. The whisper felt real. It wasn't. Jiho insists, hands tightening on her shoulders, trying to press certainty through touch. This is manipulation. Fear tactics. Awa nods mechanically, head bobbing but eyes distant, unfocused. But deep down, dread curls inside her like a tightening fist, squeezing organs, stealing breath. They walk in silence, footsteps echoing off buildings until the narrow alley road widens into a proper street. Street lamps cast pools of sodium yellow light. That's when a figure appears. Leaning casually against the pole, arms crossed, posture relaxed in a way that feels deliberately staged. Sang-min, Jiho's closest friend. He steps from the shadows, too close like he's been waiting. Your mum called me, he says, but his eyes are on Awa, not Jiho. She wanted me to see if the ritual worked. Awa's blood runs cold. See, you were watching. Someone had to. Sang-min's voice drops. In case things went wrong. In case she needed protection. From what? Jiho demands. Sang-min's jaw tightens. From her. The accusation lands like a slap. Sang-min believes she's dangerous. He steps closer, invading her space. The shaman told your mother something after you left. Awa's spine stiffens. What? That the shadow follows you because you're marked. Because someone in your bloodline invited it. Jiho explodes. That's insane. Is it? Sang-min cuts him off. Then why did the spirit appear the moment she arrived in Busan? Why now? Why her? Awa realizes with cold horror, he's not just suspicious, he's building a case. And Jiho's mother is listening. Awa turns away, hands trembling at her sides. I need air. The irony isn't lost on her. They're outside, but she still can't breathe. Jiho follows instantly, hand reaching for hers. But Sang-min's eyes linger on Awa's retreating back. Gaze heavy, unreadable mix of suspicion, fear, and something darker threading beneath. His jaw works silently. Then he turns and walks the opposite direction. Past midnight. Awa lies in bed, sheets tangled around her legs, eyes open and staring at the ceiling where shadows pool in the corners. The whisper from the ritual replays endlessly. Awa, Awa, Awa. On loop, each repetition drilling deeper into her consciousness. She sits up abruptly, mattress springs creaking, and reaches for her phone, screen brightness making her squint. She scrolls, thumb moving automatically, until she finds the contact. Aunt Mariama, Dakar. Home. The phone rings once, twice, then, my child. Mariama's voice flows through the speaker, warm honey, familiar accent, instantly soothing. Your voice is shaking. What has happened? Awa explains everything, words tumbling out faster and faster, the shaman, the mirror, the spirit, the whisper, the water bowl, all of it bleeding together. Her free hand gestures even though her aunt can't see, fingers clutching empty air. Mariama is silent for a long beat. Awa can hear breathing, can picture her aunt's face, eyes closed, mouth pressed thin, considering. Then she says softly, carefully, there is a story in our family. Awa's spine stiffens, vertebrae cracking as she straightens, phone pressed hard against her ear. What story? Mariama continues, voice heavy with old knowledge. Your great-grandfather's brother. He was killed by someone he trusted. A friend. Betrayed over money and land. They say his spirit wandered, angry, for decades. Awa's breath stops completely, lungs frozen mid-inhale. Why didn't anyone tell me? The question emerges strangled, hurt bleeding through. Because it is an old wound, Mariama's voice gentles. And we do not feed old wounds, we let them scar. But does it follow us? Awa's hand shakes, phone trembling against her ear. The spirit, does it follow the bloodline? Mariama hesitates, the pause stretching too long, loaded with things unsaid. No one has ever claimed that, but sometimes, when a trauma is deep enough, her voice drops. Families carry pieces of it, in the blood, in the bone. Awa whispers, throat tight. The shaman said the curse was tied to betrayal. A coincidence. But Mariama's insistence feels thin, fragile. Do not let their superstition bind your life. But Awa isn't sure anymore. Her mind races, thoughts fragmenting and reconnecting. The silhouette in the water, the whisper in the dark. The old family story she never knew. A betrayal in her bloodline. A betrayed spirit at her side. Her breath trembles, chest heaving. Auntie, what if it's real? Mariama's voice softens, maternal and firm, then you face it with truth. Not fear. Awa closes her eyes, trying to absorb that, to believe it. Then, the lights in her apartment flicker violently, once, twice, 3 times, each strobe longer than the last. Then go out completely. Darkness slams down like a fist. Awa screams, raw, primal, terror ripping through her throat. Her phone drops from her hand, screen light briefly illuminating the floor before the battery dies or the call cuts. Then gone. Complete darkness swallows the apartment, pressing against her eyes, her skin suffocating. Footsteps, soft, deliberate, moving down the hallway, thump, 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 measured, patient. Awa's heart rams against her ribs, violence she can feel in her throat, her temples. Jiho, she whispers, voice cracking, barely audible even to herself. No answer. The footsteps halt, just outside her bedroom door. She can hear breathing now, not her own, deeper, slower. Her own breath hitches, lungs seizing, chest locked tight. Then, a low whisper inches from the wood, separated only by the door. Awa! The same voice from the shrine, the same voice from the darkness. She jolts backward, body moving before thought, tripping over her blanket, legs tangling, falling hard onto the mattress. Her phone lies somewhere on the floor, screen dark. She scrambles for it, hands patting carpet, fingers desperate. The screen flickers where it rests. Weak battery light reflecting off the glass, and for a split second, reflected in that tiny screen, she sees something behind the door. A shadow, tall, male, watching. Her scream tears through the apartment, raw, animalistic, echoing off walls. Lights snap back on, all of them simultaneously, harsh fluorescent brightness after total dark, making her eyes water. The hallway is empty, completely empty. No figure, no shadow, Just her apartment, exactly as it was. Awa collapses to the floor, knees hitting hard, body shaking uncontrollably, hands pressed against carpet to keep herself upright. Her phone pings. The sound, normal every day, feels obscene in the aftermath. She grabs it with trembling hands, screen unlocking automatically. Jiho, I'm coming over. Sang-min said he wants to talk to us. Don't go anywhere. Awa's stomach drops, plummeting, organs rearranging. Sang-min. Why does he need to talk? Why now? What does he know? The hallway outside Awa's apartment feels too narrow when Sang-min arrives, walls pressing in, perspective warped. Like the space itself is listening, holding its breath. He stands in the doorway wearing a black hoodie, hands shoved deep into pockets. Posture unnervingly calm, relaxed in a way that feels wrong, calculated. Jiho rushes past him first, barely acknowledging his friend, scanning every corner of the apartment, eyes wild, checking shadows, checking windows before pulling Awa into his arms. Baby, what happened? His whisper is urgent, breath hot against her ear. Awa trembles in his grip, fine shakes she can't control. There was someone in the hall. Her voice breaks on the words. I heard a voice. My name. Jiho holds her tighter, arms crushing, protective. It wasn't real. You're exhausted. But Sang-min steps inside without invitation, crossing threshold without permission, and pulls out his phone. I recorded something, from the shrine. His thumb hovers over play. You need to hear this. Awa's stomach drops. You recorded the ritual? The shaman's voice. After you left. He presses play. The shaman's voice crackles. The girl carries the betrayer's blood. If she stays, the son dies like his father. Jiho goes white. That's edited, out of context. Is it? Sang-min's eyes are hard. Because your mother believes every word. He closes the door behind him, uninvited, and leans against the counter. Hip cocked, arms crossed, like he owns the room, like he belongs in her space. His eyes scan the apartment as though expecting the spirit to materialize on command. Gaze lingering on corners, on shadows. Because this is getting out of hand. Jiho glares, jaw setting, shoulders squaring. Can you not make this worse? She's terrified. Sang-min sighs, fingers coming up to rub his temples, gesture of exhaustion that feels performed. Jiho, listen to me for once. His voice takes on an edge. I've been trying to keep you from making a mistake. Awa steps forward, despite Jiho's hand on her arm, moving into Sang-min's space, chin lifted. A mistake. How? Sang-min looks at her with an expression that almost resembles pity. Eyes softening at the corners, mouth turning down. You think this is just superstition? He straightens off the counter. Your mother-in-law is a lot of things, Jiho, but she's not crazy without reason. Awa swallows, throat working. Say what you're really trying to say. Sang-min's jaw tightens, muscle jumping beneath skin, tension radiating through his shoulders despite the casual stance. Then he drops it. She was warned about you before you even got here. The room falls silent, air pressure changing, oxygen thinning. Awa blinks slowly, processing. Warned? About me? Yeah. Sang-min exhales, slow, controlled, like he's been carrying this weight too long and relief comes from setting it down. Min-kyu told her months ago that the spirits showed him a woman who would bring ruin to the family. A foreigner. His eyes lock on hers. He described you almost perfectly. Awa goes cold inside, temperature dropping from core outward, spreading through limbs. Jiho's voice rises, cracking. That's impossible. He didn't even know her then. Sang-min's expression doesn't change. Steady, unmoved. Maybe he didn't. But someone did. Awa steps closer, invading his space now, anger overriding fear. What do you mean, someone? Each word bitten off, sharp. Sang-min finally looks at her, really looks, and the mask slips enough for her to see something raw and twisted underneath, guilt and fear, and something else she can't name. Before your first dinner, he says quietly, voice dropping almost to whisper, your fiancé asked me to look after his mum. She was getting fragile, paranoid. His hands emerge from pockets, palms up, defensive. And I did. I helped. I listened. voice lowering further, and I told Min Q what he needed to hear to keep her calm. Jiho freezes, Awa's chest tightens. Explain. Sangmin's eyes harden, pupils contracting, defensive walls slamming up. She asked me if Jiho had met anyone serious. I said yes. Jiho freezes, body going statue still, face draining of color under the apartment's harsh overhead light. Awa's chest tightens, ribs compressing, lungs struggling. Why would you do that? Because he had. Sangmin snaps, voice rising, hands gesturing sharply. He talked about you non-stop. He was planning to tell her, and she would ask questions anyway. I thought. His hands drop. Easing her into it would help. But the regret in his voice feels too thin, watery, unconvincing, like diluted apology poured over betrayal. Awa whispers, each word dropping like stones. You told Min Q about me before I ever saw any of you. Sangmin swallows visibly, Adam's apple bobbing, jaw working. Not exactly. I told him enough. He meets her eyes, holding her gaze with effort. That you were older, that you were from West Africa, that you were different. The last word hangs, weighted, loaded with meaning he won't speak aloud. He continues, voice barely above whisper. And he said that matched a warning he'd gotten weeks before. Awa feels the floor tilt beneath her, perspective warping, room spinning, gravity shifting wrong. Jiho steps between them, body rigid, fists clenched at sides, knuckles white. You shouldn't have told him anything. Sangmin's nostrils flare, breathing hard, chest heaving. I was protecting your mother, your family. His voice cracks. She trusted me more than she trusted you. Awa's voice shakes, vibrating with barely contained rage. So you set the stage for all of this, for the ritual, for the curse, for her fear of me, before I ever walked into that home. Sangmin doesn't deny it, just stands there, jaw locked, eyes burning. Jiho shouts, voice breaking, you should have stayed out of it. This nightmare, this is your fault. Sangmin's composure cracks like glass under pressure, face contorting, mask shattering. I was trying to save you, both of you. The room snaps into silence, sound vacuum, ears ringing in the aftermath. Awa steps closer, voice dropping to deadly calm. Save us from what? Sangmin's voice drops to whisper, rough, scraped raw. From the omen. Cold floods through Awa's veins, ice replacing blood, spreading from core outward. Jiho's voice sharpens like a blade. There is no omen. Your father died after a spirit warning. Sangmin shoots back, words rapid fire, desperate. You think your mother forgot that? Awa turns to Jiho, startled, betrayed, eyes wide and searching his face. Jiho looks away, jaw clenched so tight muscle jumps beneath skin, refusing to meet her gaze. That was coincidence. Sangmin laughs, bitter, hollow sound scraping up his throat. Maybe, but your mother's not playing with coincidence anymore. He moves toward the door, steps heavy, defeated, reaches for the knob, fingers wrapping around cold metal. Then pauses, hand frozen. And if what we saw in that shrine is real? He looks back over his shoulder at Awa, fear finally breaking through anger, cracking his features open. Then staying with you could kill him. Awa feels the air leave her lungs, complete vacuum, chest collapsing inward. Jiho explodes, voice raw. Don't you ever say that again? But Sangmin isn't listening anymore, eyes distant, already gone. Protect yourselves, he mutters, opening the door, cold air rushing in, before it's too late. He leaves without another word. The door clicks shut, sound final, echoing. After Sangmin leaves, silence crushes the room. Then Jiho's phone buzzes. His mother. He reads aloud, voice hollow. Come home, alone. We need to talk about your future. Awa's chest constricts. She wants you to leave me. Jiho stares at the message, torn, terrified. For a horrible moment, Awa thinks he might go. Then he deletes it. No. He throws the phone on the couch. I choose you. Whatever's happening, we face it together. The apartment lights flicker, as if something heard him and doesn't approve. Awa and Jiho stand in the shaking silence he left behind, air vibrating with unspoken terror. Jiho reaches for her hands, but she steps back, recoiling, creating distance. You knew about the omen? Her whisper cuts deeper than shouting. Jiho closes his eyes, lids pressing tight, face contorting with pain. Just stories. Old things. Things my mom clings to. Why didn't you tell me? Because it wasn't real. The words sound weak even to him. Awa turns away, shoulders hunching, hands trembling violently at her sides. But now she thinks it is. You all do. Jiho grabs her shoulders, grip desperate, fingers pressing into flesh. I don't. But Awa isn't sure anymore. His eyes are filled with fear. Not of her, but of everything swirling around them, fear that poisons trust. The apartment lights flicker again, just once, but long enough for both of them to freeze, bodies going rigid, breath stopping. Awa glances toward the hallway where she'd seen the shadow earlier, darkness pooling at the end, deeper than it should be. Jiho whispers, "It's just bad wiring." But his voice wavers. Neither of them believes it. A faint thump echoes from the far end of the corridor. Awa grabs Jiho's arm, fingers digging in, nails biting through fabric. You heard that? He nods slowly, mechanical, throat working silently. Another thump, closer this time, then a soft dragging sound, something heavy being pulled across floor. Awa's whole body stiffens, muscles locking, spine rigid as steel. Jiho. The living room light dims to dull orange glow, filament struggling, shadows growing thicker. The hallway stretches darker, perspective elongating, distance impossible to judge. Something moves in it. Not a person, not quite a shadow. Something shaped like the figure she'd seen reflected in the water bowl, tall, broad-shouldered, edges blurred and shifting. Jiho instinctively steps in front of her, body blocking hers, arms spread wide. Awa, he whispers, barely audible, go behind me. But the shadow doesn't advance. It simply stands there, watching them with awareness that shouldn't exist. Then, just as suddenly as it formed, it dissipates, like smoke caught in gale wind, tearing apart, fragments scattering. The hallway snaps back to normal, light returning, perspective correcting. Silence swallows the apartment again, oppressive, suffocating. Awa feels tears burning behind her eyes, hot, threatening to spill. Jiho, something's happening to us. He squeezes her hand, grip crushing, desperate. We'll figure it out, together. But neither reaches for the lights, neither steps into the hallway, neither pretends it didn't happen. Awa whispers, voice breaking. What if Sangmin didn't start this? What if he was right? Jiho's jaw clenches, muscle jumping, teeth grinding. He wasn't. But his eyes say he isn't sure, doubt bleeding through. Awa sinks onto the couch, legs giving out, body collapsing, breathing fast, shallow gasps, the world tilting around her. Then her phone vibrates, sharp buzz against the coffee table, mechanical sound jarring in the silence. A text. Unknown number. Awa picks it up with shaking hands, screen light harsh against her face. You cannot save him. Jiho grabs the phone, fingers wrapping around hers, reading over her shoulder, face draining of color. Then another bubble appears, grey dots pulsing before the message forms. The betrayed do not share their fate. Awa's heart slams against her ribs, violent, painful, visible through her shirt. Another text. The ritual has begun. It will not stop. Awa stares. Wait. Begun? The shaman said the ritual was done. Jiho grabs her shoulders. What if she lied? What if she only started something and left it unfinished? Awa's mind races. To force us back, to finish on her terms. A new text. Come back, finish it, or he dies. The choice is made for them. They have no option but to return. And both know this time they might not leave alive. Jiho whispers, voice strangled, Awa, someone is watching us. Awa whispers back, throat closing, no. She shakes her head slowly. This is the curse. Their eyes meet, terror reflecting between them, amplifying. The phone buzzes again. They both flinch. New message. He died alone. So will you. Awa drops the phone like it burned her, device clattering onto the coffee table, screen face up, message glowing. Jiho stares at it, frozen, face pale under the flickering overhead light. This can't be real. But his voice carries no conviction, words hollow, desperate. Awa stands abruptly, body moving on instinct, and rushes to the window, yanking the curtain aside. Streetlights cast pools of yellow on the empty street below. No cars, no people, no one watching from shadows. "There's no one out there," she says, but her voice trembles, fear seeping through every syllable. Jiho joins her at the window, shoulder pressing against hers, warmth barely registering through her shock. "We should call the police." "And tell them what?" Awa's laugh is sharp, edged with hysteria. "That a curse is texting me." Her phone buzzes again. They both turn, heads snapping in unison, staring at the device on the table like it's a venomous snake. Jiho reaches for it slowly, hand trembling, fingers hovering before finally gripping it. New message. "The ritual has begun. It will not stop." Awa's breath comes in gasps now, hyperventilating, chest heaving. "We need to leave. We need to go somewhere." "Where?" Jiho's voice cracks. "This thing, whatever it is, it knows where we are." The lights flicker again, longer this time, staying dim before brightening, and in that moment of dimness they both see it. In the hallway mirror, standing behind them, the tall figure, watching. They spin around, bodies whipping in unison, but the hallway is empty, completely empty. Awa's knees buckle, legs giving out, and she grabs the back of the couch for support, nails digging into fabric. It was in the mirror. Her voice is barely a whisper. "I saw it." Jiho's chest heaves, breathing hard, eyes wild, scanning every shadow. "Me too." The admission costs him, face contorting with the weight of it. The apartment suddenly feels smaller, walls pressing in, ceiling lowering, air thickening. Awa forces herself to think, pushing through panic, through terror. "The shaman," she swallows hard. "We need to go back to the shaman." Jiho stares at her like she's lost her mind. "Are you insane? She's the one who started this. Or she's the only one who can end it." Awa straightens, spine stiffening with resolve despite the tremor in her hands. Whatever this is, it got worse after the ritual. Maybe she can finish what she started. Jiho runs his hands through his hair, fingers yanking, pulling at roots. "Awa, I don't trust her." "I don't either." Awa meets his eyes, hers burning with desperate determination. "But what choice do we have?" The phone buzzes. Again. They both freeze, bodies going rigid, breath stopping. Jiho picks it up, hands shaking so badly he nearly drops it. "Come back, finish it, or he dies." Awa's voice emerges flat, emotionless, shock numbing her. "It wants us to go back." "It's a trap," Jiho says, but his conviction wavers. "Maybe." Awa nods slowly. "But if we don't, what's the alternative?" She gestures around the apartment. "Stay here? Wait for it to come for us again?" Silence stretches between them, heavy, suffocating. Then Jiho's shoulders slump, defeat written in every line of his body. "Okay." The word barely makes it past his lips. "We go back, but we do this together." Awa reaches for his hand, fingers lacing through his, grip crushing. Together. They walk through empty streets, footsteps echoing off buildings, sodium lights casting their shadows long and distorted. The city feels different at this hour, hostile, watchful, like it's holding its breath. Awa's phone vibrates every few minutes. New messages. "Closer." "Keep walking." Then Jiho stops dead. "Awa, look." At every street lamp they pass, shadows gather, tall figures just out of clear sight, watching them. "It's herding us," Awa whispers, forcing us toward the shrine. Jiho tries to turn down a side street, but his legs won't move. Like invisible hands grip him, pushing forward. "We're not in control anymore," he gasps. Another text. "You never were. The spirit has been controlling this from the beginning. Don't stop." Like they're being guided, herded. Jiho's hand never leaves hers, grip so tight her fingers go numb, but she doesn't pull away. They round a corner and the shrine appears. Red lanterns glowing in the darkness, like eyes, amber light spilling down the stone steps. The front door stands open. waiting, but someone else is already inside. Sang-min, kneeling before the altar, praying. What are you? Jiho starts. Sang-min turns, tears streaming down his face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Awa's blood freezes. Sorry for what? I told Min-kyu about you because the shaman asked me to. She needed details, a name, a face, a story. To make the curse real, his voice breaks. I helped her target you. The door slams behind them, and now we're all trapped. Awa stops at the bottom step, body refusing to move forward, instinct screaming to run. We can still leave, Jiho whispers, though he doesn't move either. Awa stares up at the open door, darkness beyond it absolute, swallowing the lantern light. No. Her voice is steady now, fear crystallizing into cold determination. We can't. She takes the first step. Then another. Jiho follows, unable to let her go alone. As they cross the threshold, the door slams shut behind them. The sound echoes like thunder, like a cell door locking. The shrine is darker than before, lanterns dimmed to barely a glow, shadows thick and alive, moving without wind. Incense smoke hangs heavy in the air, acrid, choking, catching in their throats. The shaman sits at the altar, motionless, hands folded in her lap, eyes closed. She doesn't react to their entrance, doesn't acknowledge their presence. We're here, Awa says, voice echoing strangely in the space. The shaman's eyes open slowly, whites gleaming in the low light, pupils contracted to pinpoints. I know. Her voice sounds different, layered, like multiple voices speaking in unison. He told me you would come. Awa's stomach drops. He. The shaman's lips curve, smile wrong too wide. The one who follows. The betrayed. She stands, silk robes rustling. He is impatient. Jiho steps forward, body tense, fists clenched. End this. Whatever ritual you started, finish it. Let her go. The shaman tilts her head, movement bird-like, unsettling. It is not that simple. The betrayed does not release easily. Then what do you need? Awa demands, voice stronger than she feels. The shaman circles them slowly, footsteps silent on wooden floor. A truth. She stops in front of Awa, inches away. You carry the blood of the betrayed, but you also carry the blood of the betrayer. Awa recoils, body jerking back. What? Your great-grandfather's brother was killed. The shaman's voice drops to whisper, but your great-grandfather, he knew who did it. He knew the friend who betrayed. And he said nothing. The words land like blows, each one physical, stealing breath. He protected the killer. Awa's voice breaks. To protect the family name, to avoid scandal. The shaman's eyes bore into hers. So the spirit followed, angry, seeking justice that never came. Awa feels tears burning, hot, spilling down her cheeks. But I didn't do anything. I wasn't even born. Your great-grandfather bought the land from the killer, the shaman continues, half price, blood money. Your family's wealth, the money that sent you to university, that brought you here, was built on Musa's grave. Awa's legs nearly give out. No. Sang-min grabs Awa's arm. It's not over. She spins. What? You bore witness. You freed Musa's spirit. His eyes are haunted. But the shaman knew. She knew about your bloodline before you came here. Someone told her. Someone wanted you targeted. Jiho straightens. Who? Sang-min's voice drops to a whisper. Your mother didn't just hire a shaman, she hired this shaman, the only one in Busan who specializes in bloodline curses. Awa's stomach drops. She knew what I carried, before I arrived. Someone wanted this confrontation, Sang-min says. The question is, who and why? But before anyone can answer, the shaman raises her hands, and the lanterns explode. Darkness. Then Musa appears, fully formed, rage contorting his face. He lunges for Jiho, spectral hands wrapping around his throat. Jiho gasps, choking, lifted off his feet by invisible force. Stop, Awa screams. I'll do it. I'll bear witness. Just let him go. Musa's head turns slowly toward her, considering. Then he drops Jiho, who collapses, gasping. The shaman whispers, he will wait, but not long. Speak now, or he takes what's owed. What do you need? Awa demands. The shaman hands her the tablet. His name, his story, spoken aloud by his blood. Awa takes it, but the wood burns her hands. She drops it with a cry. The shaman's eyes widen. The betrayer's blood resists. You must choose to carry his pain. How? Speak his name. Accept his rage as yours. Let his memory burn. Awa looks at Jiho, who's still gasping, hand at his bruised throat, and knows there's no other way. She picks up the tablet again. This time, she doesn't let go. The tablet is heavier than it should be, wood-aged and dense, characters carved deep enough to catch her fingernails. Awa holds it with both hands, staring at the name, Musa Dialro. Musa Diallo. The spirit stands before her, fully manifest now, features clear, early 20s, sharp cheekbones, eyes that should be brown but burn with something colorless and endless. He doesn't look angry anymore, he looks hungry. Musa Diallo. Awa's voice is steady. I see you, I acknowledge you, I acknowledge the betrayal. The spirit doesn't move, doesn't fade. The shaman shifts nervously. Continue, tell him you're sorry. No. Awa cuts her off. Jiho grabs her arm. Awa, what are you? I won't apologize. Awa keeps her eyes locked on Musa's. Because I didn't kill you, I didn't betray you, I didn't cover it up. The shrine's temperature plummets, frost spiderwebs across the floorboards. Musa's mouth opens, voice layered, multiple voices, language that shifts between Wolof and something older. You carry his blood. You owe. I carry his blood, Awa interrupts, but not his guilt. She steps forward, toward the spirit, not away. My great-grandfather was a coward. He protected a murderer to save the family name. That was his choice, his sin, not mine. Blood carries debt. Blood carries memory. Awa's voice rises, fierce and clear. I remember you now. Your name, your death, the injustice. She holds up the tablet. But I don't owe you my life, or his. She gestures to Jiho. Musa's form flickers, rage building, shadows darkening, the shrine groaning as if the wood itself is bending. Awa doesn't flinch. You want justice, I'll give it to you, but not through haunting. Not through revenge, not through making more people suffer for crimes they didn't commit. Then how? The word is a scream and a whisper. Awa reaches into her bag, pulls out her phone, opens the voice memo app, presses record. I'm going to tell your story, your real story. Not the family story where you're the troubled brother who disappeared, not the version where your murder gets erased for convenience. She holds the phone toward him like an offering. I'm going to find out who killed you. I'm going to name him, his descendants. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what was done to you. She pauses, then adds, and I'm going to find out what my great-grandfather gained from your death. The land, the money, whatever he stole when he buried the truth. Her voice hardens. And I'm going to give it back. Silence, the shrine holds its breath. Musa stares at the phone, at this small glowing rectangle that makes no sense in his understanding of the world, then at Awa. You would undo the prosperity? Yes. Your family will hate you. Probably. You will lose wealth, status, inheritance. I already lost it. Awa's voice cracks. The moment I learned it was built on your grave. For the first time, Musa's expression shifts. The endless hunger wavers, revealing something underneath. Surprise. He looks younger suddenly, more human. Why? The question sounds genuinely confused. Awa lowers the phone but keeps recording. Because I can't build a life on stolen ground. Because I can't marry him. She gestures to Jiho, while carrying your rage in my blood. Because... She swallows hard. Because if I don't break this cycle, my children will inherit it. And their children, forever. She steps closer, close enough that if he were solid, she could touch him. You were betrayed by someone who called you friend. You were abandoned by family who should have sought justice. You've been erased from history. Her voice drops to a whisper. I won't do that to you again. I'll carry your story. I'll speak your name. I'll make it right. She lifts the tablet between them, offering, but you have to let him go. You have to let me go, not because you forgive us, but because we have work to do. Together. Musa's translucent hand reaches toward the tablet, fingers passing through wood, through Awa's hands, cold enough to burn. Then he speaks, and for the first time, his voice is singular, human, young. My friend's name was Amadou Sek. He took my land to pay gambling debts. Your great-grandfather witnessed the murder and bought the land from Amadou for half price. The words tumble out, 8 decades of testimony finally spoken. Amadou's grandson owns a hotel in Dakar now, built on what should have been mine, built on my blood. Awa's hand shakes as she holds the phone steady. Amadou Sek, I've got it. You will tell them? Yes. You will demand return? Yes. Even if they refuse? Then I'll tell everyone who'll listen. I'll write it, publish it, make sure it's in every history book, every archive, every database. Her voice strengthens. You won't be forgotten again. I promise. Musa's form begins to dim, not dissolving, but pulling back, condensing. I will wait to see if you keep this promise. Awa's blood runs cold. Wait? You mean you're not? I am bound to the bloodline until justice is served. His eyes, human and inhuman at once, lock onto hers. You speak of breaking cycles. Prove it. Find Amadou's descendants, demand return, restore my name. He glances at Jiho, assessing. If you fail, I return. And next time, I will not wait for acknowledgement. Then he fades, not into peace, but into the walls, the floor, the wood itself. Still present, still watching. Awa stands frozen, phone still recording, realization crashing over her. She didn't banish the curse. She just agreed to work for it. For him, for the rest of her life. The shaman exhales shakily. That's not how it usually ends. Jiho steps forward, face pale. Awa, what did you just agree to? Awa looks down at her phone, 44 minutes recorded, Musa's testimony, his friend's name. The hotel in Dakar. I agreed, she says slowly, to do the right thing, even if it destroys me. She stops the recording, saves it, backs it up to 3 different clouds, then turns to Jiho. Your family wanted to know if I brought a curse. Her laugh is sharp, bitter. I didn't. But I'm bringing one back with me. She looks at the phone screen, at the file labeled Musa Testimony 12.10.2025.m4a, and knows her life just changed permanently. Not freed, bound, but this time on her own terms. Jiho says to Awa after the ritual, your mother's not haunted, she's grieving, and instead of therapy, your family hires someone to blame outsiders. Dawn at Gwangali Beach. Awa and Jiho sit on the sand, alive but changed. The sun rises over Busan, golden light spreading across the water, waves gentle against the shore. They don't speak for a long time, just watch the light grow. Finally, Jiho breaks the silence. What do we tell them? My parents. Awa exhales slowly. The truth. She turns to look at him, eyes red but clear. That I honored my ancestor, that the curse is broken, that we choose each other anyway. Jiho's hand finds hers, fingers intertwining, grip warm and solid. And if they don't accept it? Awa looks back at the sunrise, light reflecting in her eyes. Then we build our own family, our own traditions. She pauses, then adds quietly, one that doesn't bury its wounds. Jiho pulls her closer, head resting against hers. Then Awa pulls out her phone, shows Jiho a message received while they were in the shrine. Unknown number, 1 curse broken, 7 remain. Jiho goes pale. 7. Awa stares at the horizon, where shadows still gather at the edges of her vision. Musa wasn't the only one who was betrayed, she whispers. He was just the first. The ocean whispers back, and this time it sounds like voices, calling her name. They sit together as the city wakes, 2 people who walked through darkness and chose light anyway. The ocean whispers against the shore, and for the first time in days, the shadows are just shadows. Nothing more. For now.